Anything for Jackson is a brand new Shudder original, and it is about two grandparents who lose their grandson. So they abduct a young woman who is pregnant, and they want to use her to bring their grandson back. So that's what we'll say about the movie. Yeah, I really liked this one a lot. I felt like this had a good enough spin on it for this subgenre of horror. Like, this subgenre of horror is definitely tired, but I felt like this gave enough newness to it and enough memorability for it to work. What kind of reminded me of is something like the Conjuring movies, because it has multiple memorable ghostly presences that I thought were pretty cool. I'm not going to name what they are, but each one of them is fairly memorable and unique in its own thing. So I thought that was pretty cool, that it wasn't just like one creature. There's some things that happen in this, one in particular that's done in repetition, and I thought that was really eerie and kind of fucked up, so I did like that a lot. There's a character in this movie that they ask for assistance or help from, they want some assistance from him. And I don't know what it was about this guy. I mean, I think he played the role fine, but for some reason he was really off-putting. But at the same time, I feel like he was supposed to be, but it didn't feel like in the way that I felt like it should have been. Like, for some reason, I was having a hard time with the guy. He seemed too nerdy for me. Like he's supposed to be like this demonology expert of sorts or something, and he's like into metal and all this, and he just felt like some like awkward nerdy kid, and I don't know, it just didn't work for me. So his character for some reason was off-putting, even though his character is supposed to be off-putting, but as I said, not in the way that I would have expected the film to go. But at the same time, they could have done like this stereotypical looking and acting character for that role, which we've seen a million times in the past. So I am glad they changed it up, but that still being said, I don't know, there was something off about him. Maybe on a second watch I would have gotten used to him and I'd be like, you know what, I'm fine with him now. So that was really one of my quibbles. But another thing that I love about this film, probably my favorite thing about this film, and we just do not see this anywhere near enough in horror cinema, the main cast is primarily older aged people. The characters in this are in their 60s probably, or late 50s, early 60s. In horror movies, how often do you see that? I mean, I can think of a few off the top of my head, but very, very few. It's usually like teenagers or something. No, or like 20-year-olds. But it's so rarely older people, and I love when they do that. It feels like it mixes things up here. And everyone is very good in this. The two leads are very recognizable actors that I don't know the name of off the top of my head, but I know what they're from. But yeah, I felt like there was uniqueness and eeriness, and I liked a lot where things went in this story and how things wrapped up. I was a big fan of this one. I really did enjoy the hell out of this one, and I'm absolutely recommending this one. Yet again, telling people to get Shudder. I mean, how many movies am I recommending that are originals to Shudder? It's not like, oh, well, this is on Shudder, you should watch it. No. These are originals to Shudder, so this is literally the only place that you can legally watch it. So between all the films that I've loved from Shudder this year, whether it's Metamorphosis or Monstrum or The Beach House or Scare Package or fucking Host, like, there's been so many great Shudder, Yummy, so many really good or great Shudder originals this year. So Shudder's basically been keeping horror in 2020 going. I mean, without Shudder, man, we would be really lacking good horror content. I mean, there's still good, of course. There's some great, but Shudder has, of like my top 20 of the year, I'd say Shudder probably put out 5 or 6 of them this year. That's a lot. That's like 25-30%. That's a crazy amount from one streaming platform, and it's an original for the company. So, big win for them again here. Definitely would make a list for sure this year for me. I really did enjoy this one. And yeah, I mean, I don't think I have anything else to say about it off the top of my head. There is some predictability in certain moments, but I never found that to be a distracting negative of the film. You know, like I was like, oh, this is gonna happen, and then it does, and you're like, it's still cool though. I mean, what I guessed was cool, so I'm fine with it. But definitely pay attention to this one. A lot going on, and the performances are solid. Everything's really solid. Let me know what you think when you watch it. Adios.